So, um, I just got through watching Bull Central video, and I left a comment there on that video. Um, it's about this video that came out about last night's game. But anywho, I'm saying that because that's part of backdrop for this video. You don't have to go listen to the video; it won't matter in the total context. But it was something he said and something I've been witnessing through Chicago Bulls fandom in regards to Zoe. And here's what I want to talk about, right? There was a lot of skepticism by Chicago Bulls fans. Some I've known some Chicago Bulls fans since before this trade ever happened. I knew some who were dead set on wanting Lonzo for years now. And I've also seen too that as the rumors for Chicago and Lonzo was heating up, there were some people that would just completely no, we don't want him. Mainly because they would just their mindset was still of him on the Lakers. They hadn't really watched him, hadn't really heard about him. They really just didn't see anything there to be of value. And when you look at the stats, it's like, yeah, he put up 14, 6, and 5. But it's just kind of like underwhelming for them. For them, it's like, well, that's no better than really Sato and maybe Kobe, so why would we want that guy? Sure, he could pass, but, whatever. And it was just one of those things to me where it was like, and it's still this way with most teams in the league. It's just like, y'all really don't know him. Like, I'll give most fandoms credit. If you follow a player as a fandom, like if there's a Lonzo, let me just use the word stands. If you're a standom, yeah, sometimes you got people that highly overrate certain players, and then you got some that underrate players. But within the standums of any player, there's always a set group that can tell you the true, raw, unadulterated facts about Zoe. And I've been one of those people. I'll hop on videos and I'll be like, look, you guys really need to change your thinking because you don't know this guy like we do. We've been following him since the beginning. We know we have watched every game. We have watched every play. We know everything down to the pure tendencies. Your thought processes on the player is inadequate. They're not correct. And this is not Jay Strokes is this and Bulls Central. No, this is not even a diss video. What this is Bulls fans are going to have a come to Jesus moment, right? Caruso was already going to be a fan favorite. I don't think anybody, legitimately disagreed with that. I think that was, I think we all could safely assume that just based off how he was in the Lakers. But Zoe was going to have to grow on people. And what you're starting to find out is people are starting to really like Zoe because one game he could give you 5 or 6 shooting, okay? And you're like, damn, okay, he can actually put the ball in the hole. He can shoot. The next game he can have 3 steals and 4 blocks, and it's like, damn, he's a menace on defense. And in another game, he can go get you 8, 9 rebounds. You're like, damn, he can rebound. And in another game, he can go get you 15, 17 assists. Like, yo, he really is a good passer. And it's like you find yourself circling the loop of stats with him. And you're circling the loop of stats. And then you're like, before a while, it's like, well, damn, what can he do? Like, what's the problem with this guy? Yes, he can sometimes have issues finishing at the rim. Yes, his field goal percentage can definitely be better. None of us in the fandom, standard, whatever, are going to dispute that. But he's not a ball pounder. He's not going to sit there and pound the air out the ball. Look, I'm going to look and see what I got. If I got a good shot, I'm going to take it. If I can get the better shot, I'm going to pass it. Maybe sometimes I pass too much. But at least the ball is moving. But the main thing is, you're sitting there, you get on Twitter, you get on Facebook, you get on Instagram, you get on any of these other TikTok, IG. Well, I said IG already. I said Instagram. But you get on any social media, including YouTube, and you're starting to see videos now where people like, I maybe was wrong on Zoe. Bruh, we've been following this cat for forever. We've been trying to tell you that. Okay? We've been trying to tell y'all this shit. We know what he can do. Here's the problem. A lot of y'all, people in general, not talking about the Bulls as an isolated group, but people in general, we go look at the stats and sometimes the articles. Our Tourist Fan Club does this a lot, and it pisses me off about his videos. Even though I am still subscribed and I still watch from time to time. You go look at the stats and articles and you make your assumption about the player. And you don't have context to the situation. So Zoe could go put up 14, 6, and 5 in a 3-and-D role. And so you take his stats and try to apply them as a point guard when his role was way different. Here's the thing, right? Lonzo looked one way under Luke Walton defensively, another way under Gentry defensively, another way under Stan defensively, and now another way under Billy Donovan. Matter of fact, he looked more like he did under Luke Walton defensively with Billy Donovan. The point here is scheme and how players are utilized bring out the best or the worst in their game. Bulls fans should know this particularly because you had Jim Boylan. Okay? And if you don't know how bad of a coach Jim Boylan is, B-Ball Breakdown has a couple of videos about Jim Boylan. But he also did one where he compared how Jim Boylan misused certain players and how Billy Donovan used them the correct way. And even explained like the fundamental usage of these players in certain sets didn't make sense. But you should know that, Bulls fans. So you should understand this. You guys, if no other fan base should know this, you guys definitely should know. But I digress. Let me put that to the side. You guys are going to have to come out of your box about Zoe this year. Because you're going to see he's a shooter. You're going to see that he's an all-around savant of a basketball player. As I've said, and I'm hoping that this term gets mainstream. He is a toolbox. He has everything that you need in the toolbox. He carries it around. And when he needs it in the game, he pulls it out and he uses it. When he's in the off season, he is putting stuff into his toolbox. It is time to go add, okay, I need my tool wrench, I need my socket wrench, I need my monkey wrench, I need my power drill, I need my saw, I need my chainsaw, I need to put all the stuff I need into the toolbox. And I take that with me throughout the season. And now, see, y'all like to refer to it as a bag, but that's just, y'all refer to it as an offensive thing only. Zoe has a bag for all the skills necessary for a basketball game: rebounding, defense, passing, three-point shooting, yada, yada, yada. Which is why people was like, I don't like, the term bag, but that's why I say toolbox. And that's why I said he is a flex player. He flexes to the position of need at the time being. He puts more focus into what's necessary for the lineup to try to close up the deficiencies. The closest player to that, in my eyes, currently is a Draymond Green. Because that's what he does. He is point guard when it's necessary. He is a screener When it's necessary, he's a multi-positional defender. When it's necessary, he's a rebounder when it's necessary. And I'm saying when it's necessary because there are some plays where he has to defend harder than others. There's certain plays where he has to be more of a savant passing than others. Lonzo is this very makeup of player, and there's a lot of these guys coming into the league now. They're able to do multiple things, especially at the point guard position. This is one of those reasons why I like tall guards and not small guards. Because taller guards have more length, and thus they can do more on the defensive side. They have a higher defensive potential. I don't care what you say. The bigger you are, bigger defensive potential. You can't tell me a 6-foot point guard is going to be a better defender than a 6'8" point guard. You might say, well, CP3 is better than LaMelo. CP3 is older. He's definitely not going to be better than LaMelo. And even still, I would much rather have Melo at 6'8", having to guard a 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" power forward, small forward, than having CP3. I'm sorry. And that's just the way it is for me. That it is what it is. Slight little, I don't want to call that a taste. Let me put that to the side. Anyway, these guys are coming into the league, and they're going to have this multiple array of skill sets or skills. And that's what that's their toolbox. Okay? You got to keep adding to your toolbox. You got to keep putting stuff in it. Chicago Bulls fans are getting to the point now where it's like, well, damn. Every time, if there's a game, Zoe is going to contribute. Either defensively, he's going to give you solid defense, which they're not used to at the point guard position. He's going to give you, the passing. He's going to move the ball. The ball doesn't stick with him. He's an excellent off-ball player, so he can play around other players with higher offensive gravity than other star players, which, by the way, is one of the greatest skills you can have if you're a pro basketball player, is being able to play off ball. That's value, okay? And he can shoot, so the shooting is a thing. And so, again, a lot of people were concerned about the $20 million a year. Now you're sitting here, you're looking at this guy, and you're like, wait a minute. If he can really defend like this, we already knew about the passing. If this shooting is legit, and he's a solid rebounder, and he knows when to feed the play. Like, he is worth that $20 million. He may be worth more. This ain't a bad contract. This is value. We have been saying this as the Zoe fandom since before the contract was even a thing in existence. We've been talking about this for at least a year, maybe a year and a half now. We've always known this, okay? We've been talking about this and debating this for a while. Yes, there's some people that thought maybe $17 million. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Zoe has already shown he's worth more than $17 million in the preseason alone. Okay? But there's been some people, 17, 15 million, you're dumb. You're dumb. Okay? There's some people that wanted him to get a max contract. He is not a max contract player. I'm here to tell you that. And I love Zoe. He is not a max contract player yet, but he is a lot closer than people think. Look, how many guys age 23 in a point guard position can do the array of things that he can do? It's a very short list. Matter of fact, the only other player that compares to him at that age is LeBron James. I saw a tweet about it, like it was a stat, where he's the only player at age 23 that has like that kind of collective ability on offense, defense, as far as like shooting and all that other stuff on the offensive end, and everything else, the rebounding and yada yada yada, as LeBron James is a metric. Now, I don't want to dig too much into that because LeBron is a comparison. People are like, well, James Jones said he's LeBron James. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a historical context here, but follow me. And I've said this before. Look, if some of you guys are Bulls fans and you're just following me, I'm not going to tell you to go back and look through my channel and some of my old videos. I'm going to regurgitate something I've always said, right? If you don't know me, I preach versatility. I don't like one-dimensional guys on the court. And I don't like people who just slack off on defense. I like players, and I don't like defensive players that slack off on offense. I need both. You are a basketball player. You're responsible for both sides of the court. I would much rather take a shooter who is 39% for three, but that plays both sides of the ball, than one that's like 47% from the three and doesn't play any defense. That's me. Okay? But a player who can affect the game in multiple ways and knows that he can do it, knows for a fact, like, hey, even if the shot's not there, I can still do other things on this court that affect winning. Those kind of players at that younger age are premium. There are not too many of them. I seen a tweet the other day that says, how often does a 23-year-old high draft pick who is starting to come into his potential and starting to realize some things is made available that early? It almost never happens. Bulls got lucky. Bulls fans, listen to me. You're lucky. The only thing that holds Lonzo back from being the best player on this team is he does not have the scoring gene. If Lonzo was a player whose mentality was, I know I'm a passer, but let me go get 18, 20 points a game and get the offensive gravity first, and then I'll, rely on my instincts, he would be the best young player in the league. And that's also being compared to Luka's, Trey's, all them niggas. Because none of them, no matter it, all those guys I listed, and there's still guys like Devin Booker and others who are young and savants. They don't play defense the way he does at the level. Some of them can shoot, some of them can't. Some are better, some are worse. Some of them can't rebound on a And here's the argument I've always made. I'm gonna give it to y'all like this. No matter what you say about Lonzo in one aspect of his game, there's something else there that he will always rival another player at that position in. Let's take Ben Simmons. I know a lot of y'all are not high on Ben Simmons, but let's take Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is known for defense, rebounding, and passing, okay? And because he's bigger and all that, he's a better finisher than Zoe too. All those things he's better at, but Zoe is also the better shooter. He may not have the full strengths in those areas that he does, but he's a better shooter. Okay, next, let's use Steph Curry. Steph Curry, better shooter. But Steph is not the better passer than Zoe. He's not the better rebounder than Zoe. He's definitely not the better defender than Zoe. Again, he still has something that separates him from his peers when he's on the court with them. Let's say Ja Morant. Ja Morant is a better athlete and a much better finisher and dunker at the rim than he is. But Ja Morant is not a better passer. Now, that might be debatable for some of you. And what I mean by passing, I'm talking about the skill. I'm not talking about the assist. I'm talking about as far as making all the different passes on the court. Zoe is much better. He's not the passer. He ain't the shooter. And he ain't the defender nor the rebounder. We're going to sit here and we're going to judge Zoe next to his peers. There is things that they will definitely do better than him. 9 times out of 10, it's on the offensive side of the ball. It's very rare, except like in the Ben Simmons case, where Ben is better at everything else except the shooting. But regardless, Zoe is always going to offer you something in the midline that other players cannot give to you at the same position. That is where he is value fucking bull. Because I can sit here and match him up with any guard in the league, and I do mean any point guard in the league, and say, okay, they could definitely do these things better than him, and we won't take those away from anybody. Like, for instance, we could say James Harden as a point guard. James Harden, he may not be able to make every single pass, but he's up there on par with passing and getting assists. I would take James Harden passing. Okay, I would favor James Harden passing in this way because he could just about make all the passes. James Harden is infinitely a better scorer than him. But James Harden is nowhere near the rebounder and nowhere near the defender. And Zoe is a better athlete too. There's things that Zoe is better at. naturally. So yes, you would say yes, James Harden is great or better in these areas, and Zoe is better in these. It's not to say that James Harden is not the better player, but what I'm saying is Zoe is going to always bring a certain value in opposition to anybody else he's matched up against. It does not matter. You could always look at it and say, yes, they have this advantage, but Zoe always has this advantage too. That's the thing about Zoe. That is the thing about Zoe. Last year you had Tomas Satoransky. Okay, when you sit there, you match up to, him against any other guard in the league. You're sitting there and it's like, nope, 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 nope. You go down a list of no. Zoe, you can say, okay, he can't shoot with a score with a James Harden, but he's not a bad 3-point shooter. He could probably shoot with him. Maybe. If he's hot, you're like, okay, well, Zoe's made 8 threes before in his career. He could probably shoot. He could probably, if he get hot, they probably could shoot together. They probably could go for blow, just straight up shooting. But you would say, okay, Zoe is a very good defender. Let's see how good he limits James Harden. That's where you're going to see your matchup. You're going to be like, okay, wait a minute. If Zoe can hold Harden, we got something here. You couldn't say that about Tomas Satoransky or even Kobe White. Kobe White is a scorer, but he's streaky, but he's streaky in a different sense. If he gets hot, he gets hot. He can go get you 25. He's probably a better scorer than Zoe. But he lacked in all the other places that you would need it. IQ is one of them too. Which, by the way, Zoe IQ rivals pretty much any other high elite level point guard you want to put in the league. He's up there. So we sitting here, we're dealing with these conversations and stuff, and Bulls fans are starting to change their mind. Look, man, you guys got a very talented player. Enjoy him. I keep forgetting to turn that shit off, bro. Enjoy Zoe. That's what we here to do. We here to enjoy Zoe too. And Zach. I've been a fan of Zach. I love Zach. But and a couple others on the team. But that's the thing, man. Don't look at Zoe from what you heard in the past. We're telling you, and I get on these posts on the Bulls and shit on Twitter like, look, man, we know what he is. Listen to us. Don't listen to the Pels fans. Don't listen to, old Lakers fans. Listen to us. We study him, break him down. We got channels upon channels upon channels upon channels upon channels. We got chats. We got forums, groups. There's all kinds of conversations out there where people are constantly discussing Zoe and his deficiencies and his strengths, and we're being fair about it. It's not to ridicule him. It's not to oversell him. Yes, there are some people that are like, oh, GOAT. He's not the GOAT. We're not saying that. We're not, nor are we saying he's LeBron James or Steph Curry with a 40-inch vertical. But what we are saying, and more importantly, what I am saying to you, is you got a tremendous young player who's 23 years old, about to be 24 in a couple weeks, with tremendous upside, who is going to always be on the court, and it's going to be something he could do to contribute to winning every single night. If something's not working, he always has something he can fall back on and do at a higher level than most other players. I just kind of gave you a simple rundown. I could do other players like Kyrie, Dame. These are all offensive players. Trae Young. He's a guy it's like probably the closest thing to Steve Nash nowadays, as far as a modern version, okay? I can do this with pretty much any point guard that you want to throw out here. And I can always point out something that Zoe can do that they can't do. And it'll always be like, okay, you have a point. He has that. And you have to respect it. At the end of the day, you guys, Bull fans as a collective, embrace the man. Embrace him. Show him love. Y'all have done a good job, especially with these pale dudes coming out here trying to attack everything this man do. We appreciate y'all because it was hell the last 2 years having to fight these niggas. So we glad to have some backup. Thank y'all. I'm telling you, and if you've been a Zoe fan, you know what I'm talking about. If you've been on Pale's Twitter for the last 2 years. You know the struggle we've been through fighting them niggas. It's nice to have some help and nice to have some bloggers that's showing love. It is refreshing. We appreciate y'all niggas for that, for real. But man, look, go ahead and stop having trepidations and love dude. Because he fits perfectly with Zach LaVine. And that's something that I want to see more of. I want to see more backcourt of them in rotations. I want to see them mixed with more of the bench guys and not Zoe DeRozan and stuff, or more, Zoe and Vooch. I think that would be good for the team. But y'all got a talent, man. Show love. It's okay. Don't feel like you got to go and make videos and later talking about, oh, I was wrong. We would appreciate it, but still, just hey, man, he's a hooper. Show the man love. That's all we ask. Don't be scared of it. He's just a player. He's y'all's player now. He's our player. We all in this shit together. So don't worry about that extra shit. This is just basketball. And that's all I really wanted to just say, man. Just show love. Because I promise you, motherfuckers out here on Zoe Twitter, Zoe side, we talking about how great Zach is, Vooch is, DeRozan is, Pat Will is, Kobe White is, Troy Brown Jr., all of them. We showing the entire team love. That's how it is. Y'all do the same. Peace.